What up? What up? It's your mate. I'll interrupt her here. With the mic. With the mic. Because we fucking care about audio. We put in the fucking work to make the audio tight. As a fucking bomb-ass pussy. Because that's what you want. You have to push yourself to do shit. My lean costs more than your rent. Okay? Understand that. My lean costs more than your rent. 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist. 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist. Do us. There's rules to this pimp game. Okay, you gotta study this shit. I'm talking about not even being a pimp, but just applying rules to the pimp game. $80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist, 80 on my wrist, 100 on my wrist. You know, D-Rose. Moving right along. Has got to remember to pace this conversation. You know, sometimes a pimp might be going so fast, he doesn't realize he's left a bra behind. You down in a bitch, especially a turnout hoe. You want to ride up with her and drop the bomb on her ass about the pimping. Okay, look, I have a bit of a facility with verbal game, cats. I got that $1 million mouthpiece, you know what I mean? A lot of guys have difficulty with this. And many of you have struggled with, can't come up with something to say. Now, why that happen? Why that happen? Because you're trying to impress a bitch. Often though, I get so wrapped up in my own thoughts that I just leave a bitch behind, you know? And I can see this shit happening. I can see like the thoughts in your mind, the deflating, and the conversational percentage shifts over to me just listening to myself talk. And if I stopped speaking at that point, the girl won't even be able to contribute because she's been like, shut out by just like me rapid firing too many words into her, putting her into a silent thing. So sometimes I got to rein myself in and keep the ratio good. You don't want to leave the girl in the dust with like way too many ideas that are like too brainy. And rule only applies at the beginning of the interaction, but these girls want to show off. They want to be appreciated. Okay, so after you've got that social hook, and after you've had your amazing opener, and then they just like bomb dive out, and then the girl's like, yeah, bye. And they're like, what happened? The opener was so good. I'll tell you what happened, bro. You did a bunt, bro. You bunted and got on base, bro. Use common fucking sense. You think what the fuck is going to happen? What if some stranger came up to you and goes, hey man, oh yeah, strange person who just came up and said hi and then stood there staring at me like a fucking dumbass, Asian conversation. Fuck you. You have to swing through the opener until they hook, bro. And that's true, of course, but by the same token, you got to downshift once you get to the hook point, the 70-30, and then rapport, and then more 50-50, and then eventually 80-20 hurt. Don't be decisions you have to make. When you have a group of females confronted with a decision, always have a fucking point of view. If you have one that blows, if you are afraid of blowing up the bitch, fuck her. That's why one hoe is too close to none. Always make a decision, bro. Abundance gives you that ability to fucking walk, cat. All right, abundance gives you the ability to walk. You got to downshift once you get to that hook point. You get to like a 70-30 and the rapport like the 50-50. Don't be afraid of decisions you got to make. When you got a group of women, and you always have a point of view when you have a decision. If your point of view might blow her, fuck her. Go get another one. That's why one bitch be too close to none. Always try to stay deep with hoes and make decisions in game early and often, and never make them according to how many females you have. Be committed to fucking game. Abundance gives you that ability to walk. Without the abundance, one female is too close to none. Oh, baby, what are you doing? So you make decisions that will be impaired. Ironically, that willingness to say things that might offend a woman, not just for the sake of being offensive. A lot of guys are just like, I'm just going to be this crazy polarizing guy, like RSD Jeffy, just to be offensive. Jeffy's not doing that. He's just being himself at all times. He knows who he is. He knows what age he is. He looks at himself and he'll be like, well, this looks like this is how it turned out. Probably ain't going to change anytime soon. So if you're not going to like it, if you don't like it, have a great night, babe. No hard feelings. You got to be true to yourself, bro. And that's extremely attractive. The pussy by running my mouth. Even worse is to be polarizing, is being offensive to self-sabotage. Some of you get caught in that shit. You're offensive to self-sabotage. I'm going to be offensive, so I'll lose the set because you think you're going to lose it anyway. So you do it as like a self-defense mechanism to make the snub like your own choice. That's a very insidious fucking thing. And that's retrograde game. Retrograde game. It's the difference between being bold versus confidence. Think of like construction workers on the street, catcalling, yo, what up, sweetheart? Do they really think that shit's gonna work? No, they don't. But they do it so at least they know, oh, the snub was on my own terms. Watch out for doing that shit, cats. Also, don't be a cream puff when you see tears. Like
27th Street.
If hoes can play you with their tears, they'll choose another pimp on your work ass. Don't be a cream puff when you see tears. I don't see too many tears in my everyday shit with females, but what we talk about is like, I got a friend and he might have just been getting in the game. And one thing that'd be holding him back is he's a charismatic guy, but a thing that's holding him from the next level is he's got this real bad fear of being offensive to people or being as what he vaguely defines as rude. And this isn't like saying fucked up shit. It's like, oh, well, they're having a conversation. I don't want to interrupt their conversation type shit. What do you think I say to this guy? Okay, motherfucker, you don't want to interrupt their conversation. Do you want to get laid? What if you have a check for $1 million fucking dollars in your pocket? All right, with their name on it. Would you worry about fucking interrupting their fucking conversation? No, they might be annoyed at first, but that's going to be replaced by joy and exuberance once they come to the realization that they've made $500,000 after taxes just by fucking letting you open them up. So the thing is, that guy sucks because that wedding or inconsiderate, that going for the pull is somehow rude. You need to think of it as you're giving them a fucking gift. You need to think of it as when you go for escalation that you're giving them a gift, bro. About my shuttle? It's the concessional section, that missionary position for the circus of grown women, consent, enthusiastic, required. When I first got this thing, I was tripping. I was sleeping at night. I was like, what the fuck are you doing with your life, Holmes? This is it. You're a crazy person now. You're a crazy cat now. You have separated from normal society and you drive a fucking shuttle like this. And I'm like, what am I doing? I had no idea how I was going to play. I remember the first time we went out with it. I was at like some boot camp and we met up with 4 Canadian girls from like Toronto and then some Polish girls too. And so I paired off with them, make it with her. It's a DIY scene chick. And I got this slut shuttle, and at the end of the night, we're sitting in the back isolated, and we got like beers, and we're drinking them. And I was like, so, what are you going to do after this? And she goes, well, I thought we'd finish these beers, and then it's rape van time. And I was like, pfft. And I was like, whoa, baby. I was like, excuse me? And she's all, yeah, rape van time. A lot of these chicks are all about the fantasy of going into a rape van. Chicks think it's hilarious. They love it. They fucking, I want to go to the fucking van. I want to see that van. They think it's a great fucking story to tell their friends, and they think it's awesome and cool and shit. Other bitches won't even look at it, They won't even look at it. I remember one time I was coming out of like the beach, And me and fucking Hannah Stifler were like, hey, she's like, hey guys, can I ask you a question? Do you have any weed? And I was like, yeah, we got some in the car. And she's like, oh, I just got here from New York, but I ain't got any dope. Will you sell me some? And I was like, no, we'll spin you some out. Don't worry about it. And as we're walking, and then she's like, do you know why I approached you guys? Why? And she's like, well, you were the only one that I passed who didn't look like creepy rapist. And we were like, oh, cool. Well, this is our sludge shuttle. And just as she says this, we arrive at the shuttle. And I go, well, here's the car. And she looks at it and she goes, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, no, babe. Can you open up? And I hop in. I'm like sitting in on this ottoman. And she's like, I'm like, come on in. And she's like, no. So I'm like, no big deal. Hop out. Bang. Bam, 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 bam. Didn't hook up with her that day, got her number. She was there for a week, hooked up with her on Tuesday. And, I still hang out with that girl sometimes when I go up there. The point is this. What you think is creepy now, you have no fucking idea what these females think. They might be like the girl next door. They might be like Jana fucking Jameson or Sasha Grey. You have no fucking idea. Okay, you got no fucking idea. Candy Cane, one of my favorites. Speculation is inadmissible in the court of play, gentlemen. No speculation. Objection to the speculation. It's sustained. Be sure not to pimp past one hoe trying to get another one. All right, this makes me a fast game. Fresh hoe. Be sure not to pimp past one hoe trying to get out another one. Be sure not to pimp past one hoe trying to get to another one. This mainly applies when you're down on a fresh hoe. A lot of cats take the pimping as some kind of fucking game. This shit is no game, it's real. See, a lot of pimps have a new broad in their shuttle, The females is paying attention to your every word, and the fool starts fucking with some hoes on the track. Catch the hoe in the car, pimp, then when her ass is on track, you can fuck with all the hoes, okay? Be sure not to pimp past one hoe trying to get to another, fool, all right? One in the hand, two in the bush, cats. Once you especially start getting a little competence, your eyes start getting too big for your fucking dick, fool. And you will acquire so many fucking hot leads that they may fit and be going up stale before you can fucking smack down on them all and lay your game. How long it take a lead to go stale? 3-4 days. I give it a week. I had situations where I bang a girl and like fucking 2-3 months later, I think like the longest time since I met a girl till I had sex with her was like 12 years. Back in the day, I like pick a girl up on boot camp, back when it was like fucking with Chess Club, like back in 2004. I see her in a bar at like April of this year, and I just gamed that hoe up. And I knew it was her, but I didn't say anything. And I went out and I banged her in the shuttle, and then I dug through my fucking files and I found a picture of her, and she's like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, I think we met like 8 years ago. And she's like, oh, I think I remember you. I think we made out. And I was like, actually, no, me and my girlfriend tried to bang you and you ran out of our house in terror, but whatever. Bygones. The final analysis, though, is that having more leads does not necessarily lead to more sex, because what can happen is your bandwidth gets all fucking flustered and you can't effectively focus on any one. So you'll lose track of different girls. You'll get scheduling overlap issues and shit like that. So what you want is a trickle of leads, and then you slowly work them down. And say that the trickle of leads is absolutely essential to this shit. You gotta keep the fucking trickle going. That's what makes shit possible. The trickle. You gotta be like a shark, always moving. You can't stop just sleeping shit. You checking your hoe, you better keep coming up with shit. Otherwise, being able to distract her mind from the shit you're talking about, instead of tripping about what she's thinking about a pimp, fucking putting the Mac down. Obviously, we ain't kicking the shit out of hoes' ass. We don't fuck with violence with women. But if you're having a violence or a confrontational interaction with a female, where you say something fucked up, you really want to have that shifting sands aspect to your conversation. All right. Sometimes you'll say something fucked up. You'll say something that you think the girl's gonna fucking. You think is funny, but she doesn't see the humor in it. You know. Perhaps you tell her some shit like, "Oh, I want to fuck you up the ass in a restroom stall." And I've said that a lot, and she might get pissed or some shit. And you might sense the emotional tenor of the interaction has shifted via the emotional acuity you've developed over years of doing this, and you'll sense that shift, and there'll be a structure to that shit. So number one is what you need to do is step back and let that bitch breathe, physically, mentally, wait a beat, say some sort of fucking statement of empathic fucking quality, say some shit like, oh, it's hypoglycemia, I fucking haven't eaten today, low blood sugar, and then bam, roll on and say, oh, I'm sorry, I never talked to women, but I practiced on my fucking cousin before I came. Is it working? But once you do that, anyway, don't ever forget that word anyway. The blocks is coming down, and here's the squiddly block that has just fucked you up in the block ass in the bathroom. And she's like, what this? What do I do with this? But just keep hitting her with more Tetris blocks, and she got to decide what to do with that shit quick. You got to dilute any of your missteps by positivity. Move on. 13. Learn how to have more than one female. Most pimps know how to do this without choosing a main one or a bottom bitch. It always shows you, there's going to be no way you're going to be forced to choose one of them. Hoes will not like that. Personally, you might like having a primary, even though that might not be the tact you want to take. But Lynn, I've done every type of approach to game and having game and relationships and all that shit, to having monogamous relationships, to non-hierarchical, tons of slut bangs, to having a primary and then a tier system and all that shit. But back in the day, my philosophy was like, have like one primary, a couple of solid girls, and then have like yourself like a solid cast. And that shit's come full circle, and that's how I run the shit these days now. Personal trainer right here. Do 100 push-ups and do 3 sets of 45-second leg lifts.
Get it. Let's get it. I don't have the energy for cheating and deceit and all that fucking shit. Look, bro. I ain't there to trick or treat with cats, you know what I mean? Hello? Hi, I think you got a wrong number. Okay, peace. Don't give oxygen to dudes. Don't play the monkey dance with fucking guys. Monkey dance. Guy talks shit, you talk shit back. Guy pushes you, you push him back. You know, feel the spittle in your fucking face. Then one guy shoves the guy, and then another guy shoves the guy, and then he touches your face, and then the next looping over and right. early interactions. Whether it's on the first date or subsequent early interactions, you always want to be looking for red flags. Could be anything. Could be sippy and sappy. She could have some weird personality quirks. That could be super fucking annoying. She could be on her phone all the fucking time. You just want to look for this kind of shit. Or maybe you go in the bar and you meet her for a date and she's like 3 straight bourbons, boom, boom, boom. You know, you always want to be looking for this shit so you can extrapolate it over the long term. Because if you see a problem that early, that shit's probably just the fucking tip of the iceberg. I don't just sleep with a girl and put her on the team immediately. There's a lot of vetting involved, you know. It's like after the 3rd session, maybe we hooked up 3 times and that shit will kind of shake out because you just don't know enough. You want to cut her ass off the moment you see these fucking red flags. What enables this? Abundance. Get more fucking girls. Okay. 17, you cannot bleed blood from a turnip. If that shit ain't there, accept it and move on. The only thing you're gonna bleed from a turnip is turnip juice. You know, I had a date the other night and it went very fucking well. We got along very fucking well. But then at the end of the date, she wouldn't even fucking kiss me, bro. Now look, you don't want to have sex with me on the first date. That's fine. I get it. Different people have different ways of fucking approaching this. But if she won't even kiss me, it's like, fuck off, dude. Really? What are we doing here? What is this? Is this 1860s Pennsylvania Dutch fucking country or some shit? It's best that she leave now, bro. You know? 18. Try not to let any bitch come between you and your pimp friends. This is an important rule for you guys to stick to. Got a lot of pimp friends in the pimp game. Can any pimp say that? A lot of these times, these youngsters in the game, I see them getting territorial. Guys in the club, like shedding each other and saying mean things and trying to shut each other out. Us alley cats, we take a more relaxed approach to this. We're evil Stifler and we go out in beast mode. We might roll up on a pair of girls or even one girl, and maybe I roll up or evil Stifler rolls up and she just like him better. I'm not going to be like, this was my set, evil Stifler. I'm going to recognize it's way more powerful to just let her roll with what she likes and stay cool with Stifler. You know, if a girl likes her better, that's how it went down. Our game's both good. You know, it's like whose flow's tighter, who is she fucking vibing with more. You know, sometimes we'll approach 2 girls and I'll be like, I want this one, you want this one. She likes him and she likes me, and we'll just be like, it's that simple. We never get into little bitch made arguments about shit. You know, we're all on the same fucking team here, players. All right, we're all out here trying to make $1 out of 15 cents. So none of this little catty bitch shit between players, you know. Don't be afraid to trust a hoe if it's warranted. A lot of pimps will disagree with me for sure, but I've never had a hoe take my money or jewelry when she left. I know a bitch is capable of it and will do anything. Now, I'm not saying be stupid, but like paper around these hoes when you sleep. I've seen girls gaffle shit, sure. Like they'll steal shit from your house, especially when you're pulling randoms, especially in this town. When you're pulling some randoms back to your hotel room, you better put that shit in the safe. Put your Rolex in the safe. But at the same token, if you're like, you know, basically like a similar thing is if you're alone or going deeper, guys will even say stuff like, I bet the selfish gene and all girls cheat. All girls will cheat under the right circumstances type shit.
Okay, sure.
There might be
A kernel of truth
to that, but at the same time, when you are choosing a primary partner, you got to screen fucking hard.
You got to screen hard.
Some dumb hoes, who cares? Yeah.
But you got to screen hard. There's certain girls who'll never fuck around for anything. Like one of my last ones, my last primary ones that I was in like a monogamous relationship with, I could not realistically see her fucking around with me at all. The thought wouldn't even occur to her.
Now that might be some delusional. I agree with that. It sounds like blasphemous to guys steeped in community dogma. But of course, you know, like I basically thought her to cheat, it would basically be like a dog laying an egg, you know, it's just not going to happen. So you pre-screen very carefully. That's the caveat, you know, and then trust when warranted, but know when it's warranted.
Don't get stuck in conversations, be speed shifters.
Sometimes, you know, you think a conversation will catch a bitch, but it doesn't click, or you can see a hoe wants to get down in a different way. You got to be able to spot if she's reacting properly to your conversation. And if she ain't, you got to be able to change it. You got to be able to change your flow at the drop of a dime. You know, now this very important. There's a little thing that I feel is extremely valuable. One of those little
Things in game is having that
ability to
change conversational topics on a dime.
I don't care if you tell
On the funniest fucking joke in the world.
and you're about to get to the punchline. If something happens,
You need to be able to drop that shit and move on without a second thought. If that shit was really that good, after whatever situation resolves, and she says hi to her friend or whatever, if it was that great,
she'll be
after she says hi to your friend,
her friends will be like, "Oh, so what were you saying?"
you'd be like, da 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 da.
And move the fuck on. Very, very important. Now, a lot of guys who are starting out and who are kind of routine or shtick dependent and shit, this is very hard for them, especially when you're like getting good responses from your little shtick. It's very hard to let it go. This is something you really, really want to cultivate, guys. It's one of those little things. And guys are always looking for the little magical pill that's going to increase their game by 100%. And that's why they gravitate towards things like Julian's drama or the October sequence or the annihilation factor or all this shit, like going back to the beginning of the community. That's just not the
100% thing.
that's going to increase your game 100%.
It's the myriad
Aggregate.
of 1% thing, dotting your I's and crossing the T's. Don't take for granted that the sacred knowledge you have is common.
This is interesting. Girls don't know shit about this until you tell them. And they damn sure don't know shit about your style until you bring it to they ask. When you go up to a female, there's a part of me that feels like this woman should bow down fucking immediately. Wow. Why? Because I'm fucking girl interrupter, right? Just let that shit hang in the air. You know, I paid my fucking dues. I'm awesome. I'm charismatic. I'm fun. Blah, 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 blah. Masculine dominant. I'm attuned to her subjective emotional experience. Yada, yada, yada. But she don't know that. You have to express it. You have to express it. It doesn't matter how many girls I've had sex with or how many people are sucking my e-dick on the internet. You know? It doesn't matter how awesome I actually am, you know? It doesn't matter until you show her. Bear that in mind. It doesn't matter. Also, remember that all pimps don't have the same principles. You gotta find out this the hard way. You gotta find that shit out the hard way. Any master pimpology. Every guy has a different fucking approach and different values. You know what I mean? When it comes to the style of game, you play, like, look at all the different people out there. They all have a different angle. You know, a different USP, if you will. You know, some guys have got like verbal game. You know, other guys got like dramatic craziness and spikes of emotion. Tyler's got like this very dominant and very gangstery vibe and analytical. Todd is very chess master and calm. Ozzy
He got like that fear-based approach. Alex got like that fun until daddy takes the T-bird away type thing. You know? So every guy got a different approach, right? But, and we live by those styles to the core, right? But of course, the underlying principles and guidelines of the game be the same, but we find a way to integrate those principles into our own beliefs, backgrounds, and personalities. Now, also, 23, a pimp got to be ready to catch at all times. You'll never know where the next hoe is coming from. It might be at the car wash, at the supermarket, or at the movies. That shit could come from anywhere. And this is shit I see with, like, Evil Stifler. This kid is always on the make, you know? He's always on the make. Always on the make. Like that Erasure song. Always, I want to be with you and make believe with you. Harmony, harmony, harmony. You know, child of the 80s, I guess you are. You know, that motherfucker. From the moment he wakes up in the morning, literally, from the moment he goes, you know, from the moment the cock crows to the moment he falls asleep at night, he fucking on. You know, he is fucking on. He will get up at 7 in the fucking morning, put on his finery, he will don now his girl, fa la 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 la, and he will go to the fucking bus stop. He goes to the coffee shop every fucking morning. I know, these girls go on the way to work, I just hit them up, man. I fingered a girl at the bus stop this morning. It's like, what the fuck? And it's like literally until he passes off. And he in his sleep if he could. And I've even seen him game in his motherfucking sleep. This dude is always on the fucking make, bro. I learned to fucking... I used to hate day game. Now I love that shit. I used to not fuck around with that shit. I game with all sources now. Whenever I'm out, I'm ready to step. That is the gym because I want to be hella focused there. And I might not fuck my neighbor or my roommate, but everybody else's game, motherfucker. You know? Who am I kidding? Yeah, I would. You know? The thing is you gotta get into this thing because of choice, yo. You get into this shit because you want choice. You want the skill and the ability and the confidence to step to your dream girl at 2 p.m. at Safeway in the line and have a reasonable chance of starting a conversation, getting attraction, and starting a relationship with her. So, be prepared to shift into that fucking mode at all times and go. 24. Invest in your overall game plan if you want to be a master pimp. You can't expect to be a master pimp without investing. Buying jewelry, clothes, fabulous cars, all that shit. Of course, money doesn't matter. And to an extent, that's right. I don't need to spend cash to get laid. You can spend as much money or as little money as you want. You know? I know guys who are borderline semi-homeless and they fuck like 800 girls. I know friends who are getting tables at Hakkasan too and that shit. But at the end of the day, what we're talking about is developing some ancillary shit, you know. Ancillary skills and things in your life that are cool for you. So a lot of times, you can't keep a girl to save your life. You might be like a blank cipher with like Gorilla Game. And it'd be like cultivate depth. You need to work on that. Have hobbies and have more like a life and shit like that.
So you can tell these cats to say you are forbidden to do same night lays until you get a lay from a day 2. And then some of those cats won't get laid for like 6 months, so that shit might actually fuck a guy up more than it would help. But like in the long run, that shit might probably help you more. Like if you want to be in shape, it'll add that vitality to your nimbus. You have a variety of interesting hobbies and interesting friends. If you add game to that, it's like a tsunami. So I thought big game starts with small move. Most of you cats want to be a giant community immediately, and you don't realize you got to do a lot of little shit before that shit can occur. We talk about this shit time and time again. When I started out, we were emotional basket cases and psychos, like Tyler and Jeffy were, and I was to some extent. And so it was difficult. A lot of guys who came into the community were like super fucking lab, and they'd be like hypnosis to hypnotize girls into sucking my balls, and they had all this NLP and shit, and they have weird clothes, and they'd be extremely awkward to the point of having like fucking autism. Now you see like more normal cats, you know, you had a lot of Asperger's game back in the day, you know. So for some people would have trouble keeping eye contact with people, much less saying talking to them. So it's like a process of progressive desensitization. All right, you walk down the street and now you're like, all right, let's just make eye contact with people. All right, let's just say hi to everyone we see down the street and be like, hi, hi, hi. And then some people would be like, oh, hello, how are you? And they'd like engage in conversation and it would be cool, you know? And you'd be like, okay, I'm not vaporized, let's move on. Next, engaging in like short conversation, you know, injecting more humor into your personality, escalating shit. Next, getting makeouts. Next, getting dates. Next, getting same night lates. Then upping the challenge and getting strippers and threesomes and fucking sex on the moon and shit like that. You gotta have the multi-mic set up, bro. That's so baller, baby. That's where you can really do talk show shit, when you got that multi-mic setup going, you know. Sex on the moon, shit like that. You can set that shit up, you know. That looks pretty shit, but whatever. Always, I want to be with you and make believe with you and live in harmony, harmony. You know? Oh, man. That's a little loud, but at least we don't have that fucking ground loop, huh? That ground loop seems like it's a thing of the fucking piss ass. And that didn't take that much, bro. So there's a lot of little fucking shit in your life that can be fixed, bro. Very fixable shit in your life. You know what I mean? And you just gotta fucking put in the faith to work at it a little and fix it. Sometimes you're just gonna have to do that shit. Sometimes you just have to get at shit like that, you know? You just have to handle your fucking business like a champ and go at it. I don't want fucking a bunch of guitars and fucking amplifiers and shit. Or drum sets and shit. Microphones I like. To keep it karaoke, bro. So And we're gonna add that too. We're gonna add the outside karaoke inside. Karaoke, 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 karaoke. I don't like this fucking chord. I'll tell you what, I don't like this fucking chord that much. I'll tell you that fucking much. I don't really like this fucking chord that much. But now we got two. Oh, fuck yeah. Now we got this shit back here. Are you fucking serious? Oh, that's so dope. Oh, we got a mic back here now. Oh, that's illy. Oh, that's fucking illy. To have a mic back here? Oh, that's fucking illy, dog. Harmony. We living in harmony like that. Oh, I like that a lot. Baby. And I think we could run that. We could run that. Uptown, baby. We get down, baby. Uptown, baby. Uptown, baby. We get down, baby. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. See, you gotta keep having those little improvements because that shit keeps you fucking stoked. Keeps you stoked on your path. Gives you like fucking encouragement to gives you that encouragement to keep going. Hell yeah. Now we wired up. We wired up. We wired the fuck up. We wired up though. We wired up. We wired up with encouragement to keep going, dog. We wired up. Wired up. We wired up. Oh, fuck yeah. Now we got the karaoke going. You know what I mean? We on and popping with that karaoke. We is on and popping with that shit. Oh, fuck yeah. We're going to get Jeffy to come up here and give karaoke lessons, bro. Put on karaoke fucking symposium. A symposium of fucking karaoke badassedness. It's gonna be legit. It's gonna be legit. It's gonna be legit. Alright. This is like slut shuttle roadie shit. Dude, slut shuttle roadie. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. Ugh. I would like to get that shit more like there. You know what I mean? I'd like this light and shit to be more on the side of let's get back over to that shit and plug into that shit. Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, fuck yeah. You gotta keep it fresh, too. Just keep keeping your shit fresh. Keep your fucking shit fresh, you know what I mean? And there's another fucking mic. And there's another fucking... That's what it's talking... It's not about one mic, bro. Life's about more than one mic. Life is so about more than just one mic, you know? Life be about way more than one mic. Life is about more than one mic. Life is about more than one mic. Life is about more than one mic. I don't know what's up with this one, though. Life is about more than one mic. Life is about more than one mic. I don't think this fucking thing's that good. But... And that was tighter earlier. I don't know. Oh, this thing sucks. That's why. This thing sucks. That's why. All right. Anyway, bit is about, and we get this other one popping, bro. Popping. Popping, pop. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, Holmes. is popping. You know what I mean? And now we got this thing, and this thing ain't all up in our fucking business, goofing around, being stupid. And instead, it's becoming something useful and nice instead of being like all up in everybody's fucking shit, causing fucking hassles, and being like difficult. Now that shit's just being chill, and it's beautiful. Because now we're gonna have better lightage. Right there. Right, yeah. Right like yeah. Right like yeah. You know? Right like yeah. We'll just pop on that. That shit'll be on and popping. Oh, fuck yeah. Harmony, harmony, always. I wanna be with you and make believe with you and live in harmony, harmony, harmony. I don't really know what this shit plugged into per se. To be straight up about that. What was that shit plugging into? I don't really know. Probably gonna have to figure that out. He's probably gonna have to figure out where the fuck that shit was plugging into, though. Yep. Probably. That might not be what we're doing right now. But anyways. Harmony, harmony. All right, we pop and we getting our shit back on. We did fix that ground loop though, and that thing was being an energy fucking drain. That ground loop was. Holy cow. Holy cow, was that fucking ground loop being a fucking downer. And now it's gone. Now it's gone. Unless it's not. It's gone until we touch it with our mouth, apparently, for some fucking reason. All right. All right. All right. Always I want to be with you and make believe with you and live in harmony. Oh, always. And that might be the next thing, bro. That might be next. That might be dope. Is to just be able to do that. I could get with that for real. I could get with that for real. For real, I could get with that. I swear for God. I'm grinding. I'm on my grind, folks. I'm bringing this content to the fucking peeps. And just stay on my mind. Being a coach is a lot like a doctor in the ER. when you do this, and Chaffee will tell you this too, you see guys come to the fucking shit and they'll have paralyzing inner game issues, terrible fashion shit, since all that shit. That's like the triage shit, gunshots, accidents, strokes that you see showing up in an emergency room. Along the course of a journey like that, as a dating coach, you want to earn a rep as a motherfucker who solves problems. And that, you're proud that it's been a long time since there was a problem with the Cats game that couldn't be fixed and fixed fast. So usually take a date camp, pump up your confidence, set up new belief systems, or sometimes just fucking not punch you, but you know what I mean. Tell you when you're in the wrong fucking direction. Sometimes you got to go right to the fucking heart of the problem and rearrange your whole fucking shit from the ground up. A lot of times that shit's pretty mental. It's simple when you got to work with students who are more savvy about social interaction, but when it's not, it's like you starting to race 10 feet behind the starting line and you forced to play this fast game of catch up and be like a doctor checking vital signs, and the basics are the first fucking thing you want to look at when diagnosing a Cats game. And I've been doing this for so long that, like, when I was starting out and before I had a lot of experience with different flaws in Cats games, I had to scramble about and figure out what was going on. So, the checklist I'm about to give you was created a long fucking time ago when I was so astonished at how bad some dudes' games are. And I was digging through some old shit in my catalogs and shit. And some of this was just like notes I scribbled down during a post workshop debrief. And we were wide awake. We were stayed up talking game, And this list served me very well in my early days of coaching, and nothing changed. So this shit will just kind of show you. Checklist number 1, voice tonality and delivery. Aside from body language and delivery, one of the biggest things I see missing in most Cats game is the fact of the matter is you cannot build attraction with a girl unless she can hear you. You cannot mumble and fumble through your opener and expect to get a good response. You got to speak through the diaphragm. For me, it was years and years of being a singer and a performer that made the difference, taking voice lessons and being in the studio and shit. For a lot of guys, it's unnatural to project. A lot of guys, you got to change the pitch of your voice in order to cut through the loud music playing in these clubs. Imagine going out and busking and singing and shit. This gives you a good excuse, not that you really need one, but to speak closely to her inner ear. And finally, to start speaking to the rhythm of her communication, the rhythm expressions of her sexuality, It's important to have a smooth flow. Mellifluous and be able to modulate and throw in dynamics. Oftentimes I'll see guys roll up to a sick girl and they'll deliver their fucking opener and they'll start making these weird like fucking jerky head movements like they're having a fucking seizure or something. And the girls are like, what the fuck? And they'll start throwing each other those like sideways looks like, oh, it's time to get the fuck out of here, Carol. You don't want to shift to foot and change your pivot foot every fucking second and a half. And it ain't no time before the girls give themselves that, let's get the fuck out of here and leave this loser bye-bye code. These things be sub-communicating a lack of confidence. So while your words might be like, if we read a transcript, it'd be a fucking James Bond, the subcontext is Alex B. fucking Keith. Okay, this ain't fucking Skippy or something. Point number 3, you gotta be more playful. You're the Will Smith, you're Carlton. You gotta be more playful. Some of you motherfuckers acting like you're Brett Kavanaugh being interrogated by the fucking Kamala Harris in the Senate Judiciary Committee. And you're being all business, stone-faced, getting curt, giving matter-of-fact responses to everything she says. What you gotta understand is that when a lady is at a club, she is there to have fun, not to engage in some sort of job interview shit with you or confirmation process. So loosen up and have some fucking fun yourself. Don't be afraid to act foolish and joke around. That's the thing. The stifled cat, he's afraid to have fun because he's afraid he'll look stupid, And in turn,
it's going to subcommunicate all the wrong things, even though you may think it makes you look cool, and it has the opposite effect. It subcommunicates that you're an insecure cat. So you want to be sure to joke around and be playful. Mix a lot of joke seasoning into your fucking shit. Focus a lot on mental energy. You gotta focus a lot on mental energy when you're chatting and warming up. You know, the only thing you should be thinking about is what's unfolding as you go in, how it might happen, how it could happen, shit like that. A lot of times guys will make, they'll go through these mental movies in your heads of what is going to go wrong versus purely speculative shit. You have no fucking idea how the shit's gonna go. The girl might be a total bitch, or she might be the nicest person you come across that night. You don't know what you're going to get until you just go up and you be present. Sometimes you think, oh, this is going to be easy approach. You go up and the girls will tell you to fuck off. Speculation is inadmissible in this court of fucking game, bro. Objection sustained. You want to be present. Just go up and see what happens, okay? Take into consideration the following, okay? A social interaction is a living, breathing, dynamic thing. During the course of that, any number of things can occur, okay? Think about that. You're gonna want to free up as much RAM and processing speed in your head to see what's happening, not be like cycling through a bunch of game fucking videos you've been watching. You want to be present as fuck, gentlemen. If you're sitting there running through all the different failure scenarios, that's gonna rob you of that precious brain power you need, and that mental pollution is gonna taint your fucking transmission and broadcast. So don't do that shit. Stay present, pay attention to what's happening in front of you without judgment, and roll from there. Also, directing the conversation, frame control. Another thing that screws up most people is a lack of frame control. Controlling the frame means controlling the context and the direction of the conversation. It's being commanding. Too many guys will hear like an unfavorable comment and they'll let it deflate them and they'll give up. Or maybe the girl will say something negative about them and they'll fall into it by addressing it. The girl will be like, you shouldn't have done that, and the guy will be like, oh well, and you start to logically fucking discuss it, and you go down that conversational pathway, and the next thing you know, the fucking shit's out of the control, and you're faced with the distasteful choice of trying to dig ditches or giving up and ejecting. At that point, many guys just do the latter, and really that's probably the best move, because once you get there, it's hard work. So it's best to not let shit get there in the first place. Cut off threads that don't work in your favor. Cut off people who are leaving conversation in ways you don't want it to go. Don't let a motherfucker turn the conversation into cancer prognosis rates and how long their Aunt Edna took to finally die on a fucking Saturday night in the shuttle. So frame control is very important. It's absolutely fucking necessary. Number 6, you got to move things forward. Think back to Glengarry Glen Ross. The motto, you should check that shit out. If you haven't, you're not getting laid. The famous Alec Baldwin scene, just Google that shit. It's very fucking motivating. The motto is always be fucking closing. A, B, C. Always be closing. B, C. A, always B, B, C, closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. You hear me, you fucking agates? That's the motto of the successful player, okay? Who's trying to do cold approach pickup. Now, don't get me wrong here. I don't mean you should just constantly be going up to women and trying to yank them in the shortest amount of time possible. Beast mode, forever style. A lot of guys hear about all these bathroom or 10-minute polls and all these fucking antics of superhero instructors, and the guys in the forum would be like, wow. They get these unrealistic assessments and they think that shit's happening all the time. Now that shit happens from time to time, sure. But in general, from me to Paul to leave the club together is going to be like 45 to 90 minutes. You got to take shit one step at a time. This shit's not a race. Okay? But by the same token, it is frustrating to see guys talk to these girls for hours on end without doing anything to escalate the situation. Okay? You're going to spend 3 hours and you haven't even touched her arm, bro? Come on now.
the reason for that is they're afraid to get blown out. Now do 100 push-ups and 3 sets of leg lifts, 45 seconds, 6 inches off the ground. Guys get fearful. They're like, it's going well. I better not screw it up by trying to escalate. Newsflash, you're going to screw it up by not escalating. If they're sticking around, these girls have a reasonable expectation that you're going to step up and take things to the next level and escalate. If you don't, you're going to fuck it up. Scary and weird. They think it's aggressive. They don't know how to get not the scary way, but in a cool way. But even with that, come here, baby. Come here, little baby. We gotta fix this thing, huh? You get arm's length, or you get your ass thrown to the friend zone at best. Unless you're able to astrally project your dong, then at some point you're gonna have to touch the girl. And if you are astrally able to project your dong, let me know. As soon as you know you hooked a girl, get up in her face. Or sometimes you might do a hard approach and get up in the face, but then you back off and wait until you hook them. And the hook is usually at that point where, why is this guy talking to me? And they shift over to that point of, I hope this guy doesn't stop talking to me, you know? There's got to be some give and take, you know? These girls expect you to escalate. These girls have reasonable expectations that you're going to step up and take shit to the next level. So don't let them down. It's just tacky. Once a girl is attracted to you, there's only a short window of time that you can strike. In other words, once that window is closed, you're fucked, bro. Always be closing. Always know where you're at in the interaction and where you want to go. And always be actively taking steps forward in that direction. The next test list is facial expressions. And this one kind of ties in with about being expressive. You know, there's a lot of fucking muscles in your face. In the past, you know, like RSD defined game as being an expression of your inner state combined with the rhythms you use to direct a social interaction. Some guys in the field, they be talking to girls and they look like a fucking statue of Lincoln or some shit. You know, maybe that strong fucking manly type works in some situations, but we going for consistency. And when I'm in the set and I'm interacting with females, I'm mugging, bitch, like Kevin Hart, Jim Carrey. Other time I might be looking at them like I'm judging or some shit, you know, do some self-deprecating shit, etc., etc. It can all depend on the energy she's giving me at the moment, so you got to calibrate and then react accordingly. There's like X number of muscles in your face, you know, and they express an infinite range of emotions to your face, and that shit allows you to become quite skillful with that shit, and that'll allow you to fine-tune the energy of an interaction, you know. You can really develop a true artistry with that shit, you know. So like, go to the mirror, make as many faces as you possibly fucking can. Go ahead and do it. Nobody's looking. If they are, at least you'll entertain them, you know. Okay, that's enough. Maybe you did this when you were first starting out. You'd like mug in the mirror and see what range of expressions. Do that. Practice your shit in the mirror and see what looks good on you and see what don't. They say 90% of communication is nonverbal. And like a huge percentage of that comes from the expressions on your face. Another thing is standing too far away. You don't want to spook the girl and roll up right in her face too much off the bat. You know, like a guy like Julian or Tyler, guys who do that beast mode shit, they can get away with it because they're so highly calibrated from years of experience. And it's clear they're not trying to weasel their way into the party and shit. A lot of times new guys maybe not scared, but they go up and get right in a girl's face, you know, right off the bat. That's not that good. It's kind of creepy. It's basically kind of asking for rejection. So you want to approach with non-threatening body language and non-threatening vibe. A lot of newer guys don't really know how to do that without coming off as scary and weird. Because when they think of aggressive, that's how they think. They don't know how to be aggressive, not in a scary way, but in like a fun and cool way. But even with that said, you do have to get closer to the girl at some point. That's just a fact. Nothing is going to happen, you know? If you just get your ass thrown in the fucking friend zone at best, you know? Unless you are able, you know, you're going to have to touch the girl, you know? So you got to cut in at some point, you know? Usually you get up in the girl's face as soon as you know you've hooked him, you know? Then you back off and act normal. As soon as you've hooked him, then you back off. A hooking point is basically the point where the girls have stopped, like wondering why you're talking to you. They've shifted over to, I hope this guy doesn't stop talking to me because he's interesting. You know, that doesn't mean you got to stay right there, girl. You can back off. That shit all goes back to calibration and that give and take. The point is, you got to get in there ASAP, and so should you. And now another point of the checklist is playing a character. You maybe usually say this when you got a guy in a program who's read a lot of this theory, watched a lot of shit. He's come up with some scripted routines and style, and he comes in and he uses a lot of lines and gimmicks and shit. That might not always be the case, but in any case, what can happen a lot of times is the guy will go in and he's saying things that should sound smooth and that you would say, but it's like maybe the guy sounds like he's reading it from a script and it's a little too cool and a little too pre-canned. You know, like some of you maybe had to go through that thing where you're a huge routine monkey back in the day. You know, it'd be like something is not exactly adding up here. You know, like it's some kind of actor or some shit. Like the girls might be hitting you with, like, are you a comedian? Are you an actor? And it might not be like a good actor. It might be like a bad actor. An after school special about the evils of players or some shit like that. So think of the shit like this. You go in and you'll see a home movie and people will put on like that weird narrator voice where they're like, and here's the kitchen. And it's not genuine. You do that because putting your character on to keep your real self safe. From rejection, but it tends to cause rejection. That sucks. Women have a keen sense of when you're faking sincerity. You know, authenticity wins out. That's the checklist. These are common mistakes and quick game fixes. Don't forget eye contact. Use this checklist until this shit becomes second nature. Use this shit when you're doing triage on somebody's fucked up game. You'll be surprised how frequently the answer is one of these simple 9 or 10 things. My watch costs more than your car. Grass balls. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, in a minute, I'm going to talk about cultivating a quality known as resilience.